Lesson 4, essential question. How do I find a missing dimension when given the volume of a cylinder or cone? So we have 3 steps, which should look familiar at this point: formula, substitute, and solve. All right, so let's take a look at this very first one, which is a cylinder. So we know that the formula is pi r squared h. Okay, next we're going to substitute. So this time we are given the volume, which is 52 pi. We do not know what our radius is. And we know that the height is 7. Okay, so we've done step 2 and now we're on to step 3. So I am going to multiply these two together since I don't know what my r squared is. And I get 21.99 r squared. Okay, so I need to find what r is. So that means I need to get rid of 21.99. So I'm going to divide both sides by 21.99. Okay, so I end up with 2.37 equals r squared. Now, to undo a square, we find the square root. If I find the square root of r squared, I have to find the square root of 2.37. So I end up with 1.5 equals r. So my radius is 1.5 meters. All right, next we have a cone. So I'm going to start with formula. 1/3 pi r squared h. And substitute. So my volume is 27. Okay, given us radius is 4 squared, and we don't know what our height is. Okay, so we're on solve. So I'm going to first find 4 squared, which is 16. And now I'm going to multiply these together and divide by 3. And that gives me 16.75. Okay, still need to get height. H all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 16.75. And that gives me 1.6. So that means the height of this cone is 1.6 centimeters. All right, next we have another cylinder. So my volume formula is pi r squared h. Volume is 24. Pi is 3.14. Radius is 2 squared. And we don't know what h is. All right, so let's go through. We're going to find 2 squared, which is 4. And now I'm going to multiply these together. Okay, I need h by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 12.56. And that leaves 1.9. So my height is 1.9 kilometers. All right, number 4. All right, given a cone. So my formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. Let's substitute. My volume is 16 pi. I don't know what my radius is, but my height is 4. Okay, so I am going to do 1 divided by 3 equals, multiply it times this and multiply it times this. So 16 equals 4.187 r squared. Okay, I need r squared by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4.187. And that gives me 3.82 equals r squared. Okay, again, to undo a square, we find the square root. And if I do that on this side, I have to also do it on this side. Square root of 3.82 is 1.96. And that is my radius. All right, number 5, find the radius of a cylinder with a volume of 208 cubic centimeters and height of 4 centimeters. Okay, so we have radius of a cylinder, that's important, with a volume of 208 and a height of 4. Okay, so we're going to start out with our volume of a cylinder formula. And now we're going to substitute. So it says the volume is 208. We know that pi is 3.14. We don't know what radius is. We know the height is 4. Okay, so we're going to multiply these two givens together, and we get 12.56. Okay, now we're going to divide both sides by 12.56. And we get 16.56 equals r squared. Okay, we're going to undo this by finding the square root of both sides. So that means a radius is 4.07 centimeters. All right, find the height of a cone with a volume of 117.3 cubic feet and a radius of 4 feet. Okay, so we need to find height of a cone. Volume is this, and radius is this. So let's start with our volume formula. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, we're going to substitute 117.3. Radius is 4. And we don't know what our height is. Okay, so let's find 4 squared to start. And now I'm going to do 1 divided by 3 equals, and multiply it times these two. gives me 16.75 times height. And now we're going to divide both sides by 16.75. That gives me 7. So the height of that cone is 7 feet. And that is how you find a missing dimension when given the volume.